Jamie Dimon, CEO of J.P. Morgan, went to the House of Representatives this time to answer questions about how his company lost at least $2 to $4 billion in a very risky trade. And he, of course, had the same litany of excuses. Well, what could we do? Our analysis was not granular enough. That's his way of saying, I didn't check the details. I just saw that the money was just pouring in, so I loved it. So I didn't bother checking. And of course, they had the regulators come in and they said the same thing. Our analysis was not granular enough or robust enough. In other words, we didn't do our job and we didn't check the details of the numbers, right? So it was kind of pretty pathetic. It was a little harder questioning than the Senate when he went to the Senate side. In fact, give credit to Republican Sean Duffy from Wisconsin, who actually asked him a fairly rigorous question about whether he was too big to fail, and hence perhaps we should break up J.P. Morgan and the big banks. So, hey, do you believe in miracles? But overall, it was put in soft as usual. Now, that's not surprising because J.P. Morgan Chase has already bought the banking committee in the House. In fact, let me give you the numbers. They have given $168,000 through the company's PAC in just the 2012 election cycle. So Democrats and Republicans, overall, that particular committee, just the committee he's in front of, he gave him a $168,000 check, and then he gets back very soft questions. Wow, really surprising. Let's look at some of the top recipients there. Steve Stivers, I should say, is a Republican from Ohio. He got $12,550 this year. Backus is the chairman of the committee. He got $11,000. Robert Dold has got $10,500. This is all just from J.P. Morgan, just this year. They're all, of course, the top recipients are all Republicans. And shockingly enough, none of those guys asked really tough questions of J.P. Morgan. In fact, those guys like Spencer Backus thought that they should be more deregulated. Wow, I didn't see that coming. Spencer Backus, of course, once famously said, we are here to serve the banks. No truer words have ever been spoken in Washington. Why does Spencer Backus say that? Well, partly because J.P. Morgan is the #1 contributor to his PAC since his career began in 1992. They've given him $95,000. So that goes straight to Backus, okay? Now, as you can see, these numbers are not gigantic. It's actually incredibly easy to buy these politicians. So if you do something criminally wrong, maybe you grease these guys a little bit, and they'll let you go. That's, you commit fraud, you have these giant problems where you don't communicate with regulators and you lose people's money and you might endanger actual people's deposits or taxpayer money. It's okay, just grease the politicians a little bit. Give them $10,000 or $12,000. They're cheap, okay? You just buy them. Oh, by the way, Backus also has another interest with J.P. Morgan. He holds 2 different mortgages with them. One is for property in Alabama, $50,000 to $100,000, and one in D.C. for $250,000 to $500,000. And shockingly enough, he thinks that J.P. Morgan didn't do anything wrong. Weird. Now, you want to know what J.P. Morgan does endanger? They claim, we might have lost our money. We might have lost shareholder money. But under no circumstances did we endanger any taxpayer money. And over again, Jamie Dimon said in the Senate and in the House, we don't take any money from the government. But wait a minute, we know you took hundreds of billions of dollars in 2008. So, I see, you just took it a couple of years ago, so that didn't count. And that wound up getting you so much free money. But Bloomberg did an excellent analysis of the International Money Fund report that recently came out about the top banks. And there's another way that they get free money from us. Since creditors believe that these large banks are too big to fail and the American government will always rescue them, and so far they've been proven right, they actually get to borrow at an interest rate lower than any other bank or anyone else. So, in fact, according to that analysis, they borrow rates at rates that are 0.8% lower than the average rate. Now, that might not seem like a huge number to you, but with the trillions of dollars at stake, and J.P. Morgan has $2.3 trillion in assets, it makes a gigantic difference. In fact, Bloomberg reports that J.P. Morgan Chase, because of that basically government subsidy, makes every year an extra $14 billion. That is 77% of its net income. So these guys who claim to be geniuses, and J.P. Morgan says they have a fortress balance sheet and it can't be, look at this, even if we lose this money, it's okay because we're a fortress. But we built that fortress with taxpayer money and taxpayer bailouts. It turns out if you take that advantage away, he's lost over 3/4 of his profit. I'd be a genius too if you let me borrow at rates that were significantly lower than everybody else in the world. So when he says that he doesn't rely on the government at all, that is an absolute lie. These top bankers are the biggest welfare queens in the world.